Woza. Hey, guys, I want to start the show. I don't want to just say. I want to start with ding, 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 ding. It's Women's Month, Buffett. It's Women's Month. We had to go all the way to the top. And I mean the top. A pass setter, milestone setter, record breaker. Uzenze zonke. Legend at these games, of course, for women's football, a trailblazer. Portia Modise is in the building. Petum Shege, Zokulmana, Bafetu, to break it down. We're gonna touch on what happened at WFCON. We're gonna touch on the women football issues. We're gonna touch on what she feels about what she saw. Is someone ever gonna break a record? Zonke lezi zinto, we're gonna talk about them today. Keep on subscribing, Bafetu. Thank you for joining us. 50K, we passed that. We're going for 100K. Hit the subscribe button. Comment, ask your questions. Because Upashin wants to come back. She says, you guys are not giving me enough time to talk. Your questions are not enough. I want the fans to ask me questions. So hit those comments there, and also please let us know your highlights. SoccerBeat is 1 year old. We're giving away 50K in prizes. Mshege, I'm gonna break the ice. When I first saw football, about Dez, about all those guys, all those people. The first time you feel there's a superstar, Mshege, a superstar rising. Just umuntu who has a swag, nje, a swag. You can tell, nje, ukuthi this one is gonna go somewhere. Portia Modise scoring. One of the first people that I saw score a goal and have a celebration. When you stepped into the international scene, you already knew you were gonna be a boss, Posh? So you already knew you were gonna be a boss this one.
Umjaka, namhlanje siphethe inja ye-game Umjaka. I think we've started the Women's Month with a bang, and it doesn't come. They don't come bigger than Portia Modise. Umjaka, last number. I've been lucky enough to be able to share a stage with her where I played with her, and you know what, Umjaka? Qeda abantu ngiphethe uPortia, siqeda abantu. Amadoda khala amadoda egrawundini, ndoda sihamba ngabantu evenda. Uyakhumbula Portia? Yeah, so
Hey, Posh, you did your thing on the international scene. You set the scene alight. You're one of the earliest people who were scoring at that level. How did that make you feel? Just coming as umntwana wasekhaya ukuthi hey manje ngiskora ngoki iskipa sebanyana.
Hey, Umjaka, I don't think ukuthi at some point I did think it the way you beke ngakhona, no, yabona. I think for more than anything for me, I was stuck from where I was coming from, yabona. So wearing that jersey for me, it didn't calculate so many things. Ukuthi hey ngiphume kasi ngiyomntana sekasi ngiphume eSoweto. I didn't see Soweto like any other people who see Soweto carry it's a broken kasi, or for me it was home. Like any other one comes from any township, young child. So for me, I was really presenting my township. I was presenting the country. I was presenting my teammates, the club that I'm coming from. I was representing the school that I was coming from. I think also I was doing it also for myself because I dreamed also to play along Abo Kabozita, along Abo Figiles Tola, along Abo Disraelis. I dreamed, and I even dreamed bigger to even take over one day. Yabo. So when I was achieving those things, I didn't think ukuthi ngifila kanjani umntana Soweto, playing for Banyana Banyana. I didn't think that. One thing I was thinking ukuthi ngifika kanjani ukuthi ibe captain.
Hey, Mchagi, I told you when she arrived there, Mchagi, she knew this one. That's what gonna set the scene alight.
Yeah, Posh, I was with you last week, and you shared a very touching story about your background, to the kids. I think those kids had so much to take back home from what you shared with them. It was so inspiring. So from me, I just want to know, did you ever think just playing football and doing what you love, did you ever think it would have so much impact on women's football like it does right now, what you did for women's football?
I think ukuphendula lento ishoyo Joe. I think for me, when I recognize Guti, I'm good with the game, and when I started to recognize also the struggle in the game, I felt Guti that there's a role that I need to play. I need to be brave. You know, one of us needs to be brave and play that role to say, I need to be vocal about things. I need to be the voice because it can't be good to allow things to happen the way they happen because they're not gonna stop. I'm not sure what my voice is gonna be heard, but I'm not gonna stop until someone listen. You know, over to the other generation doesn't have to experience the things Tina that we experience. So, but Monga Chacheka, my voice, they hear my voice, but they don't really listen to what I'm saying. Because you'll find people that they just wanna answer you without not listening to teen, just to be negative. And at that time you're not expecting to be negative because as we sing that national anthem, as we wear that jersey, we presenting the country, we are soldiers in a different way, right? So we expect that while we make people happy, when we find traumas in the game, when we start to have mental issues, we want people to listen because we make them happy, we entertainers for them, it's our job. And we understand Gucci, our game without the fans is not a game, right? So the same fans that when you come back and say, guys, I'm not well. Mentally, I'm not well. Physically, I'm not okay. Help. They're the ones again born about Jigelayo, but I look better. That is not okay, Mshege. That is not okay because as much as we give what we give, we need to be taken care of. As soccer players, we need to have a place where we can come back and say, I'm raising my hand right now, I'm not okay. But the people, they listen. But when people, they don't listen, it becomes a problem because we get to be suppressed.
Is that the reason the team came up short at the recent WAFCON now? You know, Nigeria was stronger in the first half, but in the second half, I think South Africa had some really, really good chances to take it away. Maybe there was one or two players missing. You know, it looked like there was like a little bit of speed because even when they made the changes, Nokolo Teklesane came in, there was speed and there were chances created. You know, it looked like Nigeria were there for the taking. Are these the issues that you're talking about in that it was outside things that made the team come up short, or was it the team just not being good enough?
To tell you the honest truth, you know, I always say, I speak out of passion, but people, they don't understand the passion that we have. Also, the foundation that we laid in the game. You know, you need to remember, I found people that they played before me. They struggle worse than what I've struggled. I continue to their trauma. So when I was experiencing their trauma, and there I was needed to be performing at the same time in the same screen that people are watching. I didn't have to show my frustrations. I needed to give results, right? One thing about us, as women soccer players, soccer teams, we are so good, you know, to carry the weight of the problems, but we wouldn't show it around and we'll bring you the results. But inside us, we're really crying. But we understood when we wear that jersey, Gucci, singing that national anthem. It's not about us. It's about now representing the country. But we wanted also the country to come back and listen to us and say, guys, right now we're having these issues. These girls, they had the issues when they came back to the first AFCON, when they took the AFCON, right? Why we want to do as in like to win the AFCON is normal. It's like we winning a Nedbank Cup. It's not a Nedbank Cup. It's AFCON. We understand. So when these kids come back winning AFCON, Gubangati, they just win an ordinary cup. It's not just an ordinary cup. African countries, they met for that trophy. We took it like the class of 96. Why then class of 96 was celebrated? Because they understood the mission. Ogut, it was not easy to win that. We take it as the first national team of women. No one wants to celebrate us. No one wants to see us. No one wants to listen to our problems, as in like it's an easy thing to do. It's not easy thing to do also in our side of women. So those girls, they were supposed to be listened then. And their problems, they were supposed to be finished then. Right now, they delay their problems. Second AFCON, we're still facing the same problems. Why people they wanna pretend as in like we did solve the problem, while as we didn't solve the problem. When they go to the AFCON, they still meeting the same problems that they paused last time. I get it. So going to the AFCON, now we want to negotiate. Forgetting which we try to negotiate. We trying our luck again to negotiate. And you need to remember, we have bills to pay. This is our work. We left our disadvantaged home. We want to also, the very same things that guys are experiencing, we're experiencing too. We come from disadvantaged homes. Who said we don't have bills to pay? Ukuthi thina singabhadali. We understand. So you find these girls, Sasa, they boycotting in the huge tournament. Why you think that thing is not gonna distract us to go and defend us being the defending champions? It's gonna disturb us because now we're thinking about our benefits. We're thinking, what are we playing for? I'm thinking my bills home. Good, I thought I'll come back. Maybe purchase something at Sunday. I'm thinking now, good, I'm gonna play. Then I'm still gonna go back home not having nothing. It's a distraction. You know, when you're talking about a game in Nigeria, to tell you the honest truth, you know, I played I don't know how many AFCONs, Buffett. That was not dangerous Nigeria, Super Falcons for now. You know, I do believe, good, if you gave Banyana Banyana after they won the AFCON, you gave them the respect that they deserve moving forward. You believe in Gucci, these girls, they can still come back and take the AFCON. Then you put a good program for them. You make sure good they still playing overseas. You make sure good they have those camps in the different places. They play with the bigger countries that they normally play. Go World Cup. Then by the time you know, you also give other players a chance because you need to remember, national team is not a club. So a national team you can't be comfortable. So when you start to see same faces years down the line, you start to think, "Ini igama lale club." I'm not sure ukuthi kusese Banyana Banyana or say inenye igama, because you need to challenge also players. Players, they can't be comfortable there. We see players Nati, but we don't see them in the national team. But we do believe they could do better, you know. So I don't know, Guti. We are still selecting the national team out of merit, or we selecting the national team in Ngama feelings. I don't know, you know, because now a national team every time may look push one. You know, like I played for the national team, I was not comfortable with my position. I knew good, if I don't perform, someone else will take over, you know. But now, when I look at also the bench, Yaruna, I'm like, hey, ubani ongangena awozosipha that thing. It's not like ukuthi you trying to be negative about the game. It's about your my understanding, because I see the game the way I see, and knowing the culture of the team that Tina we build, we left for the new generation. I do believe Gucci do have players who can really, you know, be like us and really represent, because we do have a talent. They just need to be given a chance.
Now, Posh, seeing the girls that you saw here, and you're expressing clearly that they were not supported to play at the best of their ability. And I understand that as saying to me that these girls are better than what you saw, right? Do you see in any of them, you know, setting new bars with the situation that's currently there, setting new bars like you did with with the multiple of thousands of goals that you scored yourself?
I'm saying that because looking back where I started my career, you know, I mean, I was fortunate enough with I played with guys, you know, my career was groomed by guys, you know, and I played with them and, you know, in the big tournaments, you know, and I was still good, even playing with boys, you know, I was good. So I knew when I was introduced to the women's game, good. Hey son, I'm gonna be at in ngekho zongibamba man. I'm gonna be comfortable. Yeah, one. So, but also I realized when I got to Banyana Banyana, Gucci, if I'm gonna focus to the problems and not also building myself aside, I'm not gonna achieve the goals that I want to achieve if I'm not gonna take the responsibility of my achievement, not of the problems. Yeah, I'm told. So I knew which I have two things that I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with myself, improving myself through the problems, wanting to raise the bar. But also through that, I'll change. Also, Kiri, I'm ready to be Julius. Come here, let's speak. You know, but I will do that when I score goals. Because you need to remember, you need to speak when you have something in the pocket. You can't speak when you didn't perform. Then no one will listen to you. So my plan was always, let me go score 7 goals. No say ke kupa meeting, ke kupa meeting. You know, then when I have that 7 goals in my pocket, then I'm like, I start to say, can I have my money? You know, I've been presenting the country 3 months, 4 months, I've been not paid. No one will say to me, but what do you do in order for you to be vocal like this? I man, I'll go to they couldn't sideline me because even my leadership skill in terms of me being in the field, Mamela, you'll never find me in the back. I was always the number one. Cause you remember, I got to the space where there was Abo Kabozita, there was Abo Veronica Pewa, there was Abo Joanne Solomon. I can name them that people they will never even know their names, they will never recognize them because that times women's football was never exposed, right? So when I've learned from them, I was like, when I see the talent that I saw, I'm like, but still, no one will remember this. Do I want to be talented like this and no one will remember me after 15 to 20 years? No. What I'm going to do, these ladies, they're going to live here. I'm going to steal as much as I can so I can lead this team going forward. Then I need to break the record. So even when I don't get paid to women's football, later people they can't stop talking about who's the best in women's football. I'll be retired, but people will still talk about me. So I knew for me to do that, I need to break the record. Because even after football, this thing it could still work for me. Because I look at the people I played with that they wanted to be ordinary, staying at the back. No one remember them. You know, so if I stay at the back, I'm sure I was not gonna be where I am today. But I was like, with my talent, I want to be the captain, and the captain they stay front, and I'm gonna be front all the time, and I'm gonna be brave. But
Yeah.
me being brave, not with nothing in my pocket, I'm gonna be brave, but also working hard to get those goals, working hard to lead the team. Making hard to make sure that this team understand that as much as we have problems, let's win before we go complain.
Ah, makulu. Now my concern, dear Posh, is now what are the girls that are coming up going to find? What is going to be left for the girls coming up? Like you said, you found people there, you set a milestone. Now, these girls didn't get the opportunity to set milestones because, as you say, they were not well supported to achieve even greater things that they have. Now, what are you not worried then for the next generation that they might be despondent and might be discouraged to play the game and play for Banyana?
Isidukutshele George inhliziyo yami ibuhlungu namanje manqoba ukuthi that we seeing Jermaine Seoposenwe also retiring in the early age. You need to remember, I went through this, gents. I went through this. I didn't want to retire. Bheka bangretire sengishisa lo tinyawo zisaluma ngaphansi. You know, thinking ukuthi I could break Ronaldo's records. You know, I do believe ukuthi if I was not being intimidative in this game and they took me the way I was challenging because the passion of the game for me was too much. Oguti, I couldn't allow to see people destroying what we're trying to build so we can get the recognitions that we deserve as women. Because you need to remember, we always believe, Guti, if we can win AFCON, probably one day we'll get the respect that we deserve as women. Seeing those girls winning the AFCON, basically they don't get the respect. I was crying tears. I was going to be one of them after so many years believing, Guti, if I can bring this trophy home, I will get the recognition that I want. They got it. They did it. They still don't have the recognition that I thought I will get having that trophy. So you need to think, Guti, the next generation that is coming after here, if we're seeing players retiring in the early age, and I know for a fact, Guti, they don't want to retire. No, akekho umuntu ongafuna ukudlalela i-country yakhe. Seeing uThembi not coming back, I know Guti, it's behind the scenes. It's got nothing to do with the field. You know, so if we're gonna play dumb, we try to make it like we don't understand what is going on, the issues why players are refusing to come to the national team. Instead of blaming the federation, we want to blame the players. We need to stop. We need to take care of one another. We need to stop.
Yeah, man, Posh. This issue's it's not the first time. It's ongoing, man. And It's a problem, We saw with the Nigerian president, he offered the players after they won the WFCON, they were offered apartments, and these girls, they did it. But what did they get? Instead, they are always fighting. And football is a psychological game. If you are not right in the head, you can't perform to the best of your level. So it's no surprises that the girls didn't achieve this time around. But now, moving forward, how do we fix this thing? Because we can't always have these same issues all the time.
Mangoba Joe, I think the only way, Mangoba, I mean, I always say, people need to be brave. Women's football, they need to start to be brave. They need to start to work together. They need to understand which women's football doesn't have so much power to pull in different angles. They need to pull in one hand. You understand? So when they can pull in one hand, the chairmen of the clubs, they start to respect their efforts and make the federation understand which they put in so much money, even after the grant money that they get, sometimes they don't get, they still taking money out of their pockets to make sure which women's football is surviving, right? So they need to now put their heads together and say there is no player that is going to be released until we get this correct. We need to sit down. We need to sit down and restructure women's football. We understand? Because if we're gonna continue like this, Manoba, women's football, let me tell you, it's not gonna grow. And anything that I used to say, Kerry, if you guys, Manoba, you don't talk about women's football, you don't support us, you don't feel our pain as our brothers, you think it doesn't involve you because we are women. We supported you. We had the role models from you. We didn't have the role models from the women. We had the role models from the guys. My role model was Utiki Tiki, Abo Penny McCarthy. But why I can't get the same support from you, brothers? Then if you don't talk about it, people think women's football is even useless to you guys that are playing the game. So how we fix this if Nina, you don't put us under your wings to say, guys, let's support our sisters. Enough is enough. We're tired of seeing these girls struggling. Some of you had the opportunity to buy houses, then you go broke. We never had the opportunity to go broke. Can the new generation to be given an opportunity, out of their career? Because we have the same problems. Can we not escape our problems through our careers?
Sivale so Pashin. Uchamain, we cannot talk about Uchamain. You suggested Uguti she quit too soon. Yes, age-wise also too soon. I mean, you played even longer. And you were even forced to retire, even though you say you were still fit.
I retired. They made me retire in the same age. I was 32. I was still hot. I felt good. I can still go, but
do you feel it's driven mostly by the issues that she's retiring? It's driven by the issues that are ongoing.
She said it herself after retiring. Marawa, she said it. You guys don't understand the difficulties that they experience behind the scenes, but at the same time, they need to sing that national anthem with pride. Make sure they present our country with dignity and bring the results. But no one is taking care of them. It's what I'm saying. No one wants to listen to them. But as much as we do that, sing that national anthem with pride, no one is taking care of us after that. We go back to the struggles that we left in our homes. You said it, Mangoba. The Nigerian team, after one, they gave them their houses. We're still living in the shacks, guys. Come on. After winning the AFCON, there's still players. I remember after they won the AFCON, I made a video go Instagram, and I did it because I knew after those girls coming back from the airport, some of them, they need to take the taxis after winning the AFCON. I made a video, Gary. I wish to see all those girls, but drivers taking them back home. I don't want to see any player a taxi. And I was happy to see all those players, they got them drivers to take them home because they didn't deserve, to be treated the way they've been normally being treated, as in like they didn't bring the trophy. So it's what I ask after them winning, Gary. I even made it cocky as Jama. I made it cocky, Gary. I had a dream, president will give these kids after winning the AFCON houses and cars and millions. I know ukuthi ngikhuluma nebonda.
No, Pashin. We've got to let the fans ask the questions, Margin. We're gonna ask the fans to leave comments, ask questions, because I think Pashin, if there's something we do appreciate is your generosity with your time. You know, you're generous with your answers as well. You're honest, and I feel it's a fresh way lo khuluma ngayo Poza ukuthi, you know, now it's also time for the other people to join the struggle. Yabo. And I think it's something that many people have not heard before, you know. So I think come back again. We can't wait for you to come back and answer those questions.
You know, Jama, more than anything, I think like South Africa, I think we lack that of taking care of our athletes, our artists, our musicians, you know, our actors. We only appreciate those people that moment when they still makes us happy and entertain us. But when they struggle, we tend to not to want to understand. You know, not we are human beings. As much as we are talented, trying to show our talent out there, we come from this background that they calling for help, you know, and someone is not paying attention. It's a problem, because now myself, I tend to lose myself, and when I lose myself, that's when you see us getting drunk. Bese kusasa, people say angazositshela isidabo. No one wants to say, take a moment and say angibambe ngesandla athi Posh. Hi man, what's going on, Joe? What's up? Nah. You don't deserve this. Maybe we need to sit down. Those girls, Joe, I do believe, Mina, from today, if the country is not gonna stand by them, there's nothing else I can do. I'm outside. You know, they always say, how do you fight the battles when you're outside? You need to be inside. People that were inside, they failing. People who played the game, they inside, they failing. So it's up to the country now to also give back to those girls when they were performing for them. Now they crying for help. They're raising their hands and say, "Sincedeni." So sincedeni, nami ngiyacela sincedeni. It's about time.
I think manivale njalo Mshege. Ngiyabonga nje yam Posh, ngiyabonga.
Away, Posh.
Posh leading us journey struggle. I appreciate your time, man. I can't wait for the second part. And my fans, I'm sure are gonna buzz with a lot of questions. Please, Posh, make yourself available, Poza, to come and engage the fans. Happy Women's Month, Poza. Happy Women's Month. Enjoy Women's Month. There's a lot to celebrate besides all. There's a lot to celebrate. Sabonga, Poza. Thank you, Mshege. Let the beat do the
Ngiyabonga,
talking.
ngiyabonga, mfethu.
SoccerBeat, what?